Good morning from Los Angeles, rainy Los Angeles. It's been raining for 3 days. I don't like the rain. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Power Hour every Friday. It's kind of chilly, so I got my little vest on. Every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And the bleeding continues until it stops, as the title of today's live stream indicates. Was a capitulation this morning. That's why I got the green hat on, but I could switch it to the red hat any moment because volatility has picked up. VIX got up to close to 28. And it's been tough. It's been a tough week. If you're holding especially some 3, 4, 5 beta stocks, your account got hammered. And some of them are still getting hammered, like Oracle today. Like, luckily, I got out with my skin. I had a call debit spread on it. I'll get back in again. I mean, it's called trading. That's why it's called trading. You got to be watching the positions. I'm stuck in a couple of positions, but I trimmed, reduced. Cash position is good. If we bottomed, I don't like buying things on Fridays. The 3 Ps rule: patience, position, and planning, especially position size. If you had the wrong position size, you got whacked pretty good. And I still see, a lot of folks, this is the dip, this is the buy, this is that. Nobody knows where things are going to stop. Technically, there's a lot of damage that was done this week. Again, technicals are technicals. Some of the stocks that didn't deserve, honestly, to be where they were fundamentally, I got whacked, and they're still getting whacked, actually, even with the market reversing. So got to be careful, folks. I mean, market gives it and market takes it away. And if you're not patient enough and don't wait for it to come to you, or if you position size incorrectly and if you don't have a plan, you're going to get whacked. And my member group got whacked. I got whacked. I mean, I got whacked with minimal positions with defined downside risk trades, honestly. But that's the markets, man. I'm doing fine. Yeah, I'll be fine. Drawdowns are part of the game. You just got to get used to it and then make sure you manage it correctly. As long as you keep enough dry powder for times like this, and always keep dry powder, and as long as you position size correctly, your drawdowns should be manageable. But unfortunately, not too many people have seen markets in this kind of condition. I have, going back to the 2000 dot-com bubble when I was on the desk trading, and all the way to 2008 GFC, and all the way to the pandemic, and then the last year's Japanese yen carry trade crisis. That was a pretty good whack. 2021 to 2023, when the interest rates were getting hiked, that was a pretty good whack. You just gotta, if you've seen the movie before, you just kind of expect when to not step in. More importantly, when to step in, when to not step in, right? Because when the selling comes in, there's tremendous amount of leverage in the system. So when the selling comes in, there's not much anybody really can do about it other than step away. It's a train coming at you, right? You're in a tunnel. You're looking at the end. You think it's the end of the tunnel. It's not. It's the train coming at you, and you will get crushed. So, I'll go through some charts and positions. I have minimal positions. I'm going to get assigned some shares of BMNU. I'll manage the position. It's a small position. It's not going to make me or break me, but you got to manage, right? And I already have a plan for Monday what I'm going to do with the options. Once I get assigned the shares, I think I'm going to end up with 3,500 shares. Reasonable cost. I mean, look, that thing went down to 460 today. I think it's like 530, 540. That's the 2x ETF of BMNR, by the way. The most popular ticker on X these days. BMNR this, BMNR that, BMNR this, BMNR that. If you liked it at 50, you liked it at 40, you must love it at 30. Now we're at 23. I'm like, I don't know. That exactly sounds like, to me, catching a falling knife. Catching a falling knife is really I mean, unless you have like super deep pockets, and I don't know who has that, and unless you can endure. I mean, if you bought that thing at 50, 40, 30, thinking Tom Lee is going to save your ass, no. Again, look, Tom Lee is Tom Lee. Tom Lee's doing exactly what he's doing. Michael Saylor is doing exactly what he said he's going to do. Stocks are getting hammered. I mean, MSTR down under 180, right? Who would have thought? Well, I kind of did, actually. I didn't mess with it whatsoever all this time, and I'm still not going to mess with it. You know, that can has a lot of worms in it. So I'm just going to try to stay away on that one. I'll step up on SBET. I'll step up on BMNR. I'll step up on the 2x ETF of Solana. You know, with defined risk downside trades. Even with defined risk downside trades, folks, those mean like you have put credit spreads on. You're gonna hit max loss. There is still potential of loss on all of those strategies. So you have to understand that, and you have to manage it. And if you get to max loss, you're gonna either roll or take assignment. Well, I put on naked strangles on BMNU. Obviously, the call side is going to expire worthless. The put side is deep in the money. I'm going to get assigned. Although my assignment prices are pretty decent, like they're in the 6s and low 7s. Yeah, stock being 550, it doesn't give me any break, obviously, or 530. I mean, you're down, I don't know, 30%, right? But then size is correct, right? Instead of 35,000 shares, I have 3,500 shares. Can I go 10,000 shares? Yeah, but what's the point? You know, catching a falling knife. So I'm not going to do any of this stuff. All I'm going to do is slow and steady, and then not blow accounts, and then live for another day. That's the most important thing. Anyway, so welcome to Power Hour. Every Friday, the green hat is on today for a change. I'm working on the actual green hat as opposed to some other company's hat. Because I get sent these hats from the other channel that I run. You know, I get sent all this merch, and I'm like, I thought I'll put it to some good use. So let's go through the schedule real quick. Every Monday and Wednesday, trading with Sergio, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Every Friday, Power Hour, 10 a.m. Power Hour with Sergio. I changed the title now. 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And members only live at 4:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. My members group is extremely quiet. We're crickets over there. I'm hoping they're not blowing accounts right and left. You know, I'm trying to keep a decent attitude about it, but then, you know, loss is a loss. So if you do want to join the members group, go to the YouTube channel, click join, send me an email, sergio@sergioavadian.com. So what do you get to become a member and get me for a Big Mac? Literally for a Big Mac is one-on-one, obviously, interaction. Member-only lives every Wednesday, which are really, really good. Enhances the capabilities of all the, you know, new or intermediate or advanced traders in the group. And you can get the replays, obviously, and then I post my trades for whatever they're worth. None of this is financial trading or investment advice. What I do is very risky. You know, do your own due diligence. Don't follow me. Unlike some other influencers, I had a good video that came out yesterday on Wednesday about influencers, and be careful with these people. You know, they post stuff on X, and if you don't know anything about the markets, you haven't experienced the bear market, you just go, follow these people. They have no credibility for me, none whatsoever. So I wouldn't listen to my mother when it comes to trading, okay? And that's a fact. So no, you know what you know, and when you follow these people with blind faith, you're going to get nailed. And when you do get nailed, don't complain, okay? So and what else is going on? Yeah, so you get my live trades and you get my positions at the end of each day. I also post my positions for the regular subscribers on the YouTube channel, on the community page of the YouTube channel, which is easy to find. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to prove. I have nothing. I'm not in a pissing race with anyone. I do what I do. You like it? Good. You don't like it? There's a million other channels for you to follow. So where are we? What's going on? Good morning. Good morning, Oak to yo. Good morning, afternoon, Sergio. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about these things. I've seen these movies so many times before. This is actually a garden variety little 5% dip, but then the 5% dip translated itself into 50, 40, 60% dips on all these high flyers that I was talking about it a month ago, 2 months ago. Shorting I was short all these names and I covered too soon. And, but shorting is difficult. Um, and, I'm talking about the quantum computing names, AI power generation companies, some AI stocks, including, I didn't short Palantir or NVIDIA like Michael Berry did, but I'm not even know if he's short or not, but I do short actual shares. Shorting things is difficult. Picking tops is difficult, but I was short. I covered way too soon. And this actually, I would have made money if I had stayed short. But then, trading is trading. You gotta do what you gotta do. And so, good morning, New Chicago. Everybody had their asses. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everybody had their asses kicked, including myself. Yeah, those are also going to be tricky though, right? When do you pull the trigger on those? Uh, okay, like today, for example, indexes are up, but some stocks are still down. Like Oracle's down to 200, down another 10 points. So if you're long Oracle and long puts on indexes, you're getting your ass kicked. So, I tremendously respect a gentleman named Jem Carson. He's the king of volatility. And he had done a podcast a few months ago, and I watched it and listened to it, obviously. And he said, if you're an institution and you hedge through index puts or something, I think I got cut off. Can you guys see me? Can you guys put a thumbs up in the chat if you guys can still see me? My internet is sketchy. We have some power issues. Power went out actually a couple times. So can somebody put a thumbs up in the chat? Am I back? I see myself, but I'm not sure if I'm back. Am I back? Yeah, I think I am. Anyway, somebody. Okay, cool. What was I saying? Anyway, yeah, if you're on index puts today, you're just your puts are getting smashed while your long stocks are getting smashed. So I don't know what kind of puts you have, but you have to be also nimble with those puts. You can't just you can't just blindly buy puts on things because of implied volatility going higher due to VIX going higher. Those puts are getting priced very differently now. So if you do buy puts, even if the underlying goes down, you may not even make money with those puts, right? So you just have to be really, really cautious with all this, folks. This is not a child's play game. And to be honest with you, all of you who watch this now or later, this has been going on for 6, 8 weeks now. Indexes were making new highs, but underneath the surface, the market was not healthy whatsoever. A lot of stocks already had topped a few weeks ago and then rolled over, and they've been getting smashed. And I even made the point when the market was on all-time highs, these stocks are getting killed. I go, what will happen to these stocks if the market corrects now, if the index is correct? Because there is a huge, huge disparity now between the MAC 10, let's say, and the rest of the S&P 500. Like 10 stocks in the S&P 500 keep pushing the indexes higher while the rest of them are suffering. Well, sure enough, when we did get the whoosh on the indexes for a couple of days, 5-6% range, and about 7-8% on triple Qs, these stocks got absolutely just dismantled, right? They just got taken out in the back and shot. So if you're in those stocks, the names are, we all know the names, the IRENs and BISs, Oklos, and all the quantum computing stocks, even a lot of the small AI stocks, right? They all just got smashed 40, 50, 60, 70%. And if you just held the bag, uh, shit is shit. So this downturn really opened my eyes. Yep, absolutely, sir. Thank you. That's my 3 Ps. You got to watch the 3 Ps, man. Because patience, you got to let it come to you. Even if you're doing technical analysis, right? And most people do chopsticks. I call it chopsticks because it tells you the past. It doesn't tell you the future. And even if you do your technical analysis, none of that held on this pullback in the secondary stocks. None of it held. The 50-day AMA didn't hold. 200 is not almost holding. They're just going through like hot knife through butter. And you just got to have your mental stops if you don't have physical stops, right? Yeah, I don't think the market has bottomed yet. I don't think it has. I don't like reversals on Fridays. And just be patient, man. The first P is patience. You gotta be patient. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. There's a lot of technical damage done on this down leg on a lot of stocks. So they're all under their moving averages. Trends have broken down. So now, you know, everybody's hoping for a V bottom like it always does and then shoot right back up to all-time highs. Yeah, but that's an index. If your stock is down 50%, now that stock has to go up 100% for you to get back to even. So understand the math, right? And it's really, really, you know, for me to just make sure that people understand that if you're holding a stock that went down 50%, now it has to go back up 100% for you to get back to where you were. And that's not easy. Okay. That doesn't happen that often. But then the market has saved everybody's asses every single time. And this time, you know, it's the same thing. Like, let's say Robinhood, right? I like the company quite a bit. And I even thought about buying it this morning. But then I go, it's Friday. Let me just give it a couple more days. Stock was 160, 155, corrects to 100, you know, 30% correction, or maybe more, 40%, right? Okay, well, now what do we do? Now, if you're short puts, you know, and then that's the other thing that I just get pissed off about on X. A lot of these gurus, oh, sell puts, sell calls, sell puts. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? If you saw puts on Meta, where are you? If you sold puts on Oracle, these are big names, by the way. I'm not talking junk shit. If you sold puts on Meta, if you sold puts on Oracle, if you sold puts on Hood, stock is 155, you're selling the 140 puts for a week or two out. Well, you're now $30 in the money. Now what are you going to do? You're going to take assignment? That's about it. And if you do roll, you're going to roll so far out to roll with credits. Now you're a long-term investor from a short-term trader. This is what happens. This is what the market does. And people don't understand any of the downside of selling puts, selling calls. It's what selling puts is great when the market's trending up, right? You could have sold puts on Palantir and Nvidia and Hood and whatever for 2 years, a year and a half. And you collected some premium. Yes, you missed all the upside, obviously. But now what? Now, whoosh comes. Even with the markets going down, indexes going down 3, 4, 5%, these stocks got killed by 30, 40, 50%. Now what are you going to do? Meta is a perfect example. Huge company, right? Max 7 stock. Stock is 750. Earnings come out. Maybe you sold $680 puts going out a month. Well, the next day you're in the money. Now you're $100 in the money. Now what are you going to do? Stock is 580, right? So don't make sure you guys understand what you're getting into when you read on X that, oh, selling puts is great. Selling calls is great. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not going to give you any protection. When the market's doing what it's doing, not just the market, forget the market. When the stocks are doing what they're doing, going down 40, 50, 60%, cover calls is not going to give you any protection. Selling puts is not going to do anything other than go broke, especially if you sized incorrectly, okay? Because when you do sell a put, my first thought is, and I don't sell naked puts, I do mostly put credit spread. My first thought is, okay, do I want the stock? Assignment. Be honest with yourself, right? There's always assignment problems, right? And then you get stuck, you're 50 in the money, now you got to roll. Well, in order to do it with a credit, obviously you're going to take the loss on the short put. Now I have to push it out like 6 months, 5 months, a year to roll with credits. In the example of Oracle, Meta, Hood, all these things, right? Okay, well, now you have opportunity cost. Now you're just trying to scramble to break even on something as opposed to just, you know, taking the hit and get the heck out of Dodge. So, yeah, position size is important, man. Position size is probably the most important thing. Hi, Sergio. What's your take on BTC? I'll talk about that in a minute. Do you think we're heading? No, not a chance. I'm going to DCA again on Monday, so at 80-some thousand. I can see 75 probably, somewhere in that range, you know, from the high about 40%, and Ethereum is 50% correction, and Solana 60% correction. I don't think we're going to 35. I think there's too much institutional interest in it now. I don't think we're going there. But then these corrections happen and they're painful. Okay, I mean, but then for me, BTC is not to be traded. Okay, I hodl, and when I say hodl, I just dollar cost average every Monday at whatever price it's at, the same amount. Okay, just I bought my first Bitcoin in 2020. I do believe still what it stands for. I do believe that it's. I'm not going to call it digital gold, but I think it has a value because it's a finite asset. And I mean, I think we're going to have a really difficult time here for a month or two, especially in New Year's. And then I think the printers are going to get turned on viciously. Okay. It's just a matter of surviving this little stretch. My opinion, again, I'm not going to, put out my analysis for next year or my guesses for next year. But then I had done a video last year about 2026. And I think I said market's going to be up single digits. And I think we're about there. So, I'll do my prognostication for next year close to the end of the year. But a little hint is that the Trump administration is going to own the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is going to lose its total independency under Trump, right? So it's going to have a person as Fed chair that's absolutely going to listen to him every time he picks up the phone, and it's going to say lower the rate. It's going to lower the rate. And midterm elections are coming up. If everything stands as is, Trump is going to lose the midterm elections. So in order for that not to happen, they're going to turn the faucets on. I mean, big time. Okay. And I think by probably Bitcoin and gold and stocks are going to behave better once they turn the, QE on again. I mean, this Fed already said QT is going to end. So I think probably by February, March next year, we're going to bottom wherever we're going to bottom. I don't know where we're going to bottom. So, but I don't think it's going to 75,000 though. I mean, I don't think it's going to 35,000. I think it's going to, yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, cool. Freddie says it's down during happy miles of percent. Yeah, man, absolutely. Yep, just gotta be patient, man. I mean, this downturn again. The indexes again. If you're following the index, it's only now 5%. A lot of stocks went down 50%. So that does happen quite often. And yeah, position size is the key. 100%. 100%. Good morning, John. Any thoughts on what Tom Lisa about it? About the software glitch? Look, I do like Tom Lee. Okay, he's a perma bull. There are a lot of perma bears out there. I don't think Tom Lee has any control over any of this stuff. I do understand what he's trying to do with ETH. I understand his point that October 10th, the altcoin debacle, that there are a lot of market maker stock and they're selling BTC. Look, all the selling that's happening is coming from the ETFs, right? I mean, if you go on Coinbase, there's automatic algos, sell algos working all day long because people are pulling their money out. So what happens? If people don't understand ETFs, I mean, if I'm in a IBIT, let's say, or ETHA, those are the ETFs for Ethereum and Bitcoin, and it's shares, right? So I sell it, and then a lot of selling happens. That's why the price is going down on IBIT. Well, what does BlackRock have to do? What does the manager of IBIT has to do? They have to go sell the Bitcoin that they're holding in custody at Coinbase, probably. So I don't think this what he's saying is true. But then look, I'm sure he's more knowledgeable about these things than I am. And he said, all these margin calls or market makers who are stuck are trying to liquidate the most liquid stuff as opposed to their altcoins. It'll last 6 to 8 weeks. I don't think margin calls last 6 to 8 weeks. But hey, look, he's got to say something. People are turning on him now. And I don't fault Tom Lee whatsoever about BMNR. I don't fault Michael Saylor on MSTR. None of that. If you don't understand MNAV, you should not be involved in any of this. So all that's happening on BMNR is MNAV is getting crushed, just like MNAV got crushed on MSTR. MNAV is multiple net asset value or market cap to net asset value. If you don't understand it, and if you don't have a clear picture in your head what could happen to MNAV, I got involved with SBET when it was 0.85 MNAV. Now it's 0.81 MNAV, and I'm eating it, and price is still going down. Again and again and again. All these DATs, digital asset treasury companies, they are the tail of the dog. The dog is ETH. The dog is BTC. The dog is SOL. Period. All these tools, BMNRs, all these DATs, SBETs, DFDV, MSTR, all these DATs, those are the major ones. All these DATs will only move up if Ethereum goes up, and they will move viciously down if Ethereum goes down or Bitcoin goes down. Period. Now, first understand that part before you get involved. Then the nuance is MNAV. MNAV could move up or down without BTC or Ethereum going up or down. But a lot of people think BMNR can independently move on its own like a stock. It is a common stock, but it's not comparable to like a company with earnings and free cash flow and, you know, all this stuff, right? Or revenue, whatever. So it's only going to move if Ethereum moves up. It's going to move up. Now, it may not even move up if Ethereum goes up if MNAV is getting crushed. And once you understand that relationship between MNAV, Ethereum, BTC, and the BMNR shares or MSTR shares, then you can survive. Otherwise, you're going to get nailed. So what happened is that MNAV on MSTR was 2.2 when the stock was $550 a share. Today, MNAV is under 1. And look what's happening to MSTR. Okay. Same thing with BMNR. It's pretty simple. Look at the Ethereum price, 4,700 down to 2,700. When Ethereum was at 4,700, BMNR was 70, 75 range. We just hit 23 today, 24. You just gotta, I gotta tell these people on X, you know, you are fools to draw lines on BMNR. You can draw all the lines, you can look all the technical analysis on it, it just doesn't make any sense. Now go do it on Ethereum, maybe, and then, you know, kind of superimpose that chart. You need to just take two charts, check BMNR chart and Ethereum chart. Well, if you superimpose them on top of each other, it looks identical, except BMNR has done worse. Why? Because MNAV got crushed. On BMNR, MNAV was 1.7. Now we're down to 1.1, 1.2. And on the way down, you know, MNAV is getting smashed. Understand all this before you get into it. All of this. Once you understand it, then you will still lose money. Like I'm losing money. You'll still lose money, but you'll lose a lot less. Because then knowing the downside, you will not do some crazy trades and you will just protect yourself, you know? You should be doing this. Yeah, I mean, look, that's long term. Long term, I'm bullish on BTC. I will not trade BTC. I will just dollar cost average, period. Yeah, man. There are a lot of charlatans out there. Oh, look at me. Look at me. I'm 100% win rate. I'm like, idiot. They go like, okay, on down days like last couple days, right? A lot of dumb shits on X, and I call them dumb shits. And you know what? I actually am up for a good debate here. Anybody else? Anybody wants to grab the link and come on, especially some of those X fools, X furus, gurus, whatever the fuck they are. Yeah, come on. Here's the link. Grab the link and come on. We'll discuss it. We'll debate it, actually. We won't discuss it. It'll be a good debate. Yeah, they all go like, oh, look at me. My calls are printing. My short calls are printing today. I'm going like, you dumbass. In order for your short calls to print, the underlying must be getting absolutely hammered. You own the underlying. You have a cover call. You took in $2 on the cover call, but stock is down $20. It's better than nothing. I get that part. Okay, it gives you some protection. But when the stock is dropping 50%, your stupid cover call going out 30 days that you sold for $1.50 or $2 is not going to give you any protection, right? All you're doing is you're collecting realized gains on the short call side, but then you're accumulating unrealized losses on the stock that you're holding. Now, if you're naked calls, I get that. Naked shorts, puts, and calls, okay, fine. You're playing a more dangerous game, but at least you're going to make some money. But the underlying is going to get killed if you're selling naked calls, and it's not going to give you enough protection on markets like this. On steady up, yeah, you can do your wheeling, you can do poor man cover call, you can do all that shit. But when the market's like this and stocks are getting hammered by 40-50% in a week, no protection, no soup for you. All the call and put sellers, oh, look at me, look at me. I'm like, idiot, your underlying is getting killed. All you're doing is accumulating unrealized losses, hoping for a V bottom for the stock to come back up so you can get your ass out even. That is not trading for me. I don't know, whoever says what. I will debate that until I'm blue in the face. Yeah, look, man, you're young. I know you. You got a DCA. DCA will beat the market any day. Just asking for your opinion. Since ET is more productive asset, do you have more favorable? I like BTC for its finite qualities, right? That holder of value, basically. I like BTC for that. I'm not going to say inflation hedge. I'm not going to say digital gold. It's digital something, whatever it is. But I started to like ETH. That's like asking me which one of your kids do you like more. I like them both for different reasons. I like BTC for its finite qualities and holder of value. I like ETH if Tom Lee is correct, if everything is going to be on the chain. I like ETH more because of its potential in the future that everything could be disrupted. Wall Street could literally be disrupted, actually. Banking could be disrupted. Everything is going to be on the ETH chain, ETH network. So I like them both equally. So I'm not trying to hedge. I'm not a hedger. I like them both for different reasons. I do like ETH for its potential, productivity, maybe that's the wrong word, but I like them both equally. I like Solana as well, by the way. I don't sell BTC. Yeah, no. There's no reason to sell. You do not trade BTC. Solana, I'm not sure. BTC, you don't trade. You just accumulate. I believe the musical chairs is going to continue. Whatever government's in charge, they're going to keep printing and spending. That, if you don't believe that, then get out. If you believe that the debasing of the currency is going to continue, the devaluation of the currency is going to continue, they're going to keep printing and spending. The deficits are going to go higher and higher. So we're about to hit 39 trillion in another 50, 60 days, I think. And this is a truth not about any politics. This has been going on with both administrations, Democrat and Republican. So if you don't believe that, if you think they're going to have fiscal responsibility, if you think they're going to cut the deficits, then get out of BTC. But if you don't think that's going to happen, if you think we're just going to keep printing and spending because that's the only way we can keep the musical chairs going, and I believe that wholeheartedly, by the way, we cannot stop the music now. We cannot afford to stop it. Because if we stop the music now, there's 9 people in a room and there's 1 chair. And it's going to be brutal. If you guys think this was brutal, if we stop the music now and somebody comes and says, you know what, fiscal responsibility, we're going to balance the budget. We're not going to spend more than that. We're not going to print and spend. We're not going to do any of that. Market will crash. Without a question, market will crash. Because all of you must understand there's a correlation between supply of money, which is called M2 globally and in the US, and what the hard assets are doing. Once you understand that as well, then you go, okay, well, I will never sell my Bitcoin. I will never sell my gold, right? Real estate, same thing. Stocks, same thing. That's why hard assets keep going up, because they keep printing, and I don't think they can afford to stop the music. We've had some, I don't know, periods of that they attempted to stop the music. Look what happened to the market, right? But go get yourself a Grok or Gemini or whatever, an M2 chart. There's a direct correlation between money supply and hard assets. Yeah, there may be a delay here and there, but as long as money supply is going from lower left to upper right, all these asset classes are going to follow because there's so much money in the system and it has to chase return and it's going to get into some sort of asset. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I heard about that. I don't know. Yeah. You know, a lot of people like say stuff that when they're desperate, they got to come up with stuff. I'm sure he's getting death threats by now. Poor Tom Lee. I mean, he was doing fine at Fundstrat. Why get involved with this shit? But I don't blame Tom Lee whatsoever. He's doing what he's supposed to do. And then people are like, oh, like, yeah, you didn't do your due diligence. You deserve what you're getting. I'm losing money. I'm telling you straight up. I'm losing money. I'm losing a little bit at a time, but I'm still losing money. Unlike some other people who bought BMNR at 50, 40, 30. Up, this is the bottom. This is the bottom. I'm like, how do you know this is the bottom? Especially on BMNR, because it's attached at the hip to ETH. If ETH keeps going lower, BMNR is going to keep going lower. If ETH goes to 2,000, BMNR is $15 stock. Period. No ifs, no buts about it. We all parents know one thing is, yeah. Yeah, I like them both. I really do. I like it for its productivity tools on ETH, and I like the ETH. I like BTC for its finite nature. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, debasing on the cards of comes like absolutely. It started. Look, it started in. I think it truly just kicked in hard in 2008, right? With GFC. I had a mortgage company. I know what's going on. I'm going like, holy shit, this is going to end horribly badly. And I was like, you know, and I'm like, this is going to just be bad. I don't know. But, you know, anyway, long story short, I think it really truly started in 2008. So what happened, right? We created TARP, Toxic Asset Repurchase Program. Okay, cool. So you literally could take your dirty underwear to the Fed and get a loan. Okay. And that was $800 billion on the taxpayer. Only 800 billion. And it saved the banking system. Okay. Although I don't think they should have saved the banks. I think they should have just let them fail. Too big to fail started in 2008 as well. I think that's when this really debasing of the currency kicked in, right? So that cost 800 billion. Cool. Okay, so fast forward 12 years, 2020, boom, COVID comes in. I'm like, damn. How much did we spend? How much did we print and spend? 8 trillion. We're still trying to get that money out of the system. We never will. That's why M2 exploded, right? Okay, 8 trillion now. Okay, there's always some black swan, gray swan, whatever swan event that happens. And Fed steps in, right? Or the Treasury steps in. How much is the next one going to cost? 20 trillion? Well, 800 billion to 8 trillion. Okay, let's go double, 15 trillion. Well, when that comes in, what do you think asset prices are going to do? FYI, folks, if you look at the S&P 500, that's going up 10, 11% a year on average over the last 150 years, you have to take like 5, 6% out of that because your value of your dollar is losing its value, buying power, basically 5, 6, 7% a year. So while you're still ahead, if you don't invest, you're really screwed. You're really behind the 8 ball. If you're just collecting a paycheck and putting it in a CD or, God forbid, some savings account or something, you're dead. You're a dead man. You're way behind. That's why the wealth gap in this country is as wide as ever been, right? Because people don't understand finance or investing. And so on that journey, please join me on that journey. Go join my website. In fact, I'll put the website up here, www.sergio, let's see, yep, .com. And there's the website. Please go check it out. Oh, we froze again. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, we're back. We froze. Son of a bitch. Okay. We froze. Did we freeze? Son of a bitch. Well, thank you. You guys can't see me, right? You heard the son of a bitch part? Okay, I'm back. I think I'm back. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard, man. Anyway, so where was I? Yeah, debasing of the currency and this and that and all that good stuff. So, yeah, they won't stop it. So on the next Black Swan, we'll spend 20 trillion to save it. You guys can see me now, right? I'm sure. Can you ask TJ to come to stream asking tough questions? No, he's a good guy. Nah. I mean, look, man, look, he's having a difficult time. I mean, and you know, look, we all do what we do. We all know the consequences of what we're doing. Hopefully, we do, right? Because the downside, the other side of the coin is ugly. And I'm not competing with anyone. I'm not in a pissing race at this stage of my life. I'm set financially for the rest of my life. I live in a beautiful place like that, and behind me, I don't need to do any of that stuff. And I wish everyone well. But I'm here to inform and educate. It's not about personal this, personal that. Oh, look at me, you know, my penis is bigger than yours. I'm like, who gives a shit? Who cares? I'm sure understands the downside of what he's doing, and he thinks it works, and it works. Okay, it works. There's nothing to do. But I am ticked off to the gurus, because they are taking a lot of folks with them into a fire that they don't understand that it could burn badly. That's what I'm saying. TJ always says it. What I'm doing is not for you, just like I do. It's risky. He can handle massive drawdowns, which he's going through one now. Not too many people can. So you need to know your car. You need to know what your car can handle. It's nothing to do with any of that stuff. So I wish everybody well. Yeah, exactly. Just like that. Yeah, debasing will happen forever. Hello, Lane. Are you stuck too? Yeah. Yeah, I just talked about that. I mean, yeah, the currency. Look at the the DXY is the dollar index. Go look at the chart of DXY. Down 10% against a basket of currencies. So that's what you're losing. You just lost 10% of your buying power. And this period feels like nothing is working, right? But you have to have a little bit, like, pull back a little bit, like pull back. I call it my Falcon mode. I learned that from the CEO of Lyft, by the way, David Risher. And Falcon mode is like you're always hovering up there. You're only swoop down to get the stuff once in a while, but you make sure you get it. And you have to pull back once in a while, right? It looks like BTC is crashing, stocks are crashing that you hold, dollar is losing its value. But then if you look at long periods of time, it all works out beautifully. So yeah, it all works out. Just gotta have patience. PPP. So going back to my website, please, I'm not asking for anything. Not Discord server, no whatever. So I am on this mission to improve financial literacy. Straight up talk. Because investing, trading, whatever, these charlatans on X, oh, sell put, sell calls, it's free money. I'm like, you dumbass. Don't burn people with you, because you're gonna get burned, and then somebody else is gonna get burned with you who don't even understand the Greeks in options. I mean, if you don't understand Greeks, the first order Greeks, second order Greeks, okay, the delta, the gamma, especially the vega, the theta, and if you don't understand charm and vana, you have no business in options. Selling, buying, none of that stuff. Don't do it. Go get a book and read a book, and then get your car in the race, maybe. But I want to improve financial literacy in this country, because I think it's shit. So help me, please forward to your friends, to your relatives, to your family. There's a free newsletter I'm offering. I'm not asking for anything from you. No money, no nothing. It's free. All you need is put your email in every Monday at noon Pacific. you're going to get a free newsletter. I think the 4th or 5th one went out this past Monday, and all of them are on the blog in the website. So go check it out. You'll learn a lot. Basics, power of compounding, rule of 72. You know, this week I think we're going to do something on fractional shares, because a lot of people think they have to have a lot of money to start investing. No, you don't. You don't. You can invest $5 a day. There's fractional shares. There's all the tools available to you now. So, but people don't understand. And also, you know, investing talk is boring. It's not like football or, whoa, look what Kim Kardashian did. I'm like, who gives a shit, honestly? Or people flipping TikTok for 20 hours a day, addicted, you know, losing brain cells. So I just want to change financial literacy from elementary school all the way to college. Okay? Simple. And I have another community that I kind of am the spokesperson for, and they're gig workers, and I mean, their financial literacy is in the toilet. They have no idea. So I want people to understand, if you don't invest, you're going to be left behind. Look at the top 10% that own 87% of the assets in this country, and bottom 50% own 1% of the assets in this country. Why do you think that is? That's because there is no financial education. There is no financial literacy. And I think we do it on purpose, because we want to addict you on some plastic crack. Again, I'm not against debt. I'm not Dave Ramsey. But debt managed well is a wonderful thing, right? But if you have credit cards up the ass and your balances are up the ass, you start paying 30-40% interest rate on those. The burrito you bought on that credit card is going to cost you like triple by the time you pay it off. No. So learn how to float the bank's money for 30 days. Simple things, man. So that's what I want to do through the website. So please go subscribe to the free newsletter, and share it, because I want, like, Thanksgiving is coming up, right? What do you think the talk is going to be on the Thanksgiving family dinner or table? Football or some other shit they saw on TikTok. I'm like, no, let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin. Let's talk about finance. Let's talk about, like, simple things. Simple. I'm not talking super complicated hedge fund, you know, private equity, whatever, or VC kind of a thing. I mean, I'm happy to talk about those if I'm in the right group. But if not, then I mean, you can't talk to like your 12-year-old like that. But you can talk to them about simple things, and that's what I want to do. I want to simplify all of this stuff, because simple is good. Keep it simple. Stupid is really, really good. Well, thank you, man. Yeah, the last one is good. My website manager is amazing. I write the article, send it to him, and then he makes it look amazing, like ridiculous. And I'm going like, wow, awesome. Yeah, I'm really happy with the website. Okay, I'm back. I'm good. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Let's see, also for record. No, I had him on the stream a couple days ago, and we talked about it, and you know, I mean, I don't know his positions, but I know he loves strangles now, naked strangles, and when on markets like this, naked strangles may be the wrong strategy, unless you're gonna endure massive 50, 60, so 70% drawdowns, which you easily can if you're short puts and your short put side. Yes, one side is free, not really, but you know what you'll do is you'll just roll the strangle down, right? Because my rule of thumb is, and I explained that to him, I think we were on the live a couple of days ago. I said my rule of thumb is, if you took in $5 for the puts and the calls, and you go into money, one side gets challenged, you go into money by 5, you need to roll. Don't wait until it goes into money by 30. And every time you go into money, you need to roll if the amount of you're in the money on the challenge side is above what you took in as premiums. And that's the rule of thumb, period. So let's say if you're short, I don't know, I think it was short MSTR puts and calls, but he was short like a 210. Stock is 170 something, right? Well, I'm sure he didn't take in 30 or SoFi or whatever he's short. I don't know. But my thing is, you can't just say, oh, I'll be in the money by 5, and then, well, what's happening is that your account equity is melting, And unless you bring in more money, there'll be maintenance calls. So, you know, I'm sure he knows all this stuff. He's not a newbie. But certain strategies don't fit certain markets, and naked strangles when the market's doing, again, I keep saying the market, it's not the market. When the underlying issues are doing this kind of thing, going down 40, 50%, it is really, really tough. So when the market's, I mean, if you look at the index, it's like, it looks perfect. But go look at an Oklo chart, go look at an Oracle chart, go look at a Meta chart, go look at Rigetti chart, go look at all these names, right? Like small, big, medium, large. Look at these names. Smashed. Rigetti, 58 bucks. I was short at like 50 something. Covered it. It's down to 21, I think, today. I mean, no, it's okay. I think he's traveling anyway. I just look at premium, not the Greeks. No, you, you will learn a hard lesson. If you don't understand the relationship between gamma, delta, implied volatility, how can you just look at the premium? Just the premium, not the Greeks. If you don't understand the relationship in all of this, if you don't understand data, how much you're going to decay if you're selling puts and calls, is it before earnings? Is implied volatility kicked up? Is VIX kicking up? Because VIX kicks up, all the premiums are going to go up. You literally can actually lose money if implied volatility goes up. Like stock would be unchanged, and puts and calls will go up because market makers are pushing implied volatility higher because VIX is going higher. You need to understand all this relationship, man. You can't just look at a premium. Premium is made out of many different things. Premium is made out of the underlying price, obviously, you know, VIX, implied volatility, all these other things, and they all affect each other. If you don't understand the relationship, you should not be in the business of selling puts and calls, and that's why you will lose on a whoosh like this. You will just get hammered because it looks like oh, I'm gonna have a cash grab. I'm selling 3-day calls or puts, going out to on a Friday because they have weekly options, all these wild stocks, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm 10 points out of the money, so it should be okay because the premium looks good. And then now you're suddenly 10 points in the money. You just sold an option for 50 cents. It's worth 5 now. Now what? So you have to understand all that stuff, bro. You have to understand. You have to understand this stuff. Noble calls him, yeah, man. It was taught in schools at my day. Now they stopped it. Now they teach about sex and education and other things, which is necessary. I get it. But why can't we go back to what we make it mandatory? I don't enjoy kids leaving college with 200,000-300,000 debt that they're never going to get. They're going to pay the rest of their lives, and they went to school study some garbage that's not going to pay them. AI is going to probably replace them. Yeah, but I don't. But you know, look, man, I'm just trying. You know, I like new challenges, new adventures, and this is the new one. So. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. Share it. You know, read it, and if you enjoy it, share it with your family, share it with your friends, share it with. It's free in this day and age. Not that many things are free. It's fucking free. Nothing, no attachment, just your email, and then you'll get it. Even if you know these topics, there will be other topics about more complicated things, but you know, you are in charge of your financial future. I'm not. Unless you have rich parents. Government's definitely not going to save your ass. 100%. You're in charge. So if you want to move up, it's not going to happen by your boss giving you a 3% hike while inflation is 7%. It's not going to work like that. It's definitely not going to work like that. Good morning. Yeah, I'll tackle that on. I'll tackle these 2 questions on. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Okay. I'm gonna make a note of this because I'm already into an hour into this session. Maybe we'll do that on Monday, trading with Sergio, if you guys come back. For our education purpose, can you talk about your rules to sell cover calls? I don't like selling cover calls. WRT Greeks, if you want. Yeah, let's do that Monday. How about that? I'll promise you I'll do that Monday. I don't like selling cover calls at all. I just don't like it. There is proven studies out there. Go check it out. You don't have to buy my word. Believe me. There are structured products out there that a lot of people like. Okay, they only do cover call writing, right? They're called structured products. Go check them out. Go check out their returns. They underperform on a rising market and they underperform on a down market because they're writing cover calls. They're getting called away, and they're not allowing the full benefit of the upside on the underlying. So I don't like cover calls. The only time I do cover calls, like which I'm going to do when I get nailed on one, like BMNU, I got nailed. Again, small position, but then the premiums are so high that I will manage in a month or two. I'll just lower my cost basis to almost nothing. But like if you're doing cover calls on like Palantir or all these NVIDIA or whatever, right? You just left all that money on the table. Yeah, you can roll. But then that's, again, just like selling a put. You can roll. You have to roll so far out that it doesn't make sense. By the time you roll and your rolling comes, now you're in the money by another $20 on Palantir, let's say, right? You could have sold cover calls on Palantir since it started going up at $20. It ended up at 200. You left all that money. That's a lifetime of a trade. I don't like cover calls, but I will try to explain it. With respect to Greeks. Yeah, look, cover calls. I'll get into it on Monday more deeply, so come back for that one. You don't have to call me sir. Call me Serge. I like that question. Okay, let's make a point of that as well. You know what? Let me make notes on these things, and then we'll come back on Monday and I'll explain it. I'll explain it to you guys. Let me make a note of these questions because I will forget, and once I forget, it'll be gone. I'm gonna make a note of both questions, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Okay. Cover calls and the Greeks. Okay. Well. One Greek you need to really pay attention to is going to be delta, obviously, when you're selling cover call. And the second question was, oh, that's a good question, actually. That's like up here, though, so I don't know. That's the second order of Greeks, by the way, right? Well, it's first order. Vega. Okay, Vega is the interest rate differentials, which it may actually come into play, but it's probably the smallest part of it. There's a model called Black-Scholes model in options, right? You guys, and all of you should have an option calculator, by the way. There are free ones, good ones out there. So if you're playing directional or even selling puts and calls, you should just put you just enter the values, and then it'll give you like what it will be a week out, 2 weeks out, and 3 weeks out, and things like that. So you should all have that. You should have a option calculator. Those are like free things. Okay. My wife keeps texting me. I don't think she needs me. Hold on a second. All right. Back at the ranch. Works. Okay. No, Greeks are not changing with any good or bad news. The Greeks are changing with the underlying moving. It's not about news. Greeks don't change with news. The underlying is moving. Implied volatility is moving. VIX is moving. That's why the Greeks are changing. Not because there's good or bad news, maybe that's what you meant, but not specifically because there's good or bad news. The underlying rules, done. Chopsticks for sure. Yeah, no, there's no indicator that tells me the future. If there is an indicator that tells me the future, then I won't be doing this. I'll be a trillionaire. Although they do have merit, because a lot of people do follow technical analysis. And it saves them headaches, actually. I mean, to a point, it works but I like technical analysis because it shows me an uptrend or a downtrend, so I can be in an uptrend or downtrend. At least I know I'm in an uptrend or downtrend. So then I can trade accordingly. But yeah, technical analysis doesn't tell you the future, but it's a good point of view. Like, take back, hold back, and look at like what has the stock done. Like, if you look at a UPS stock or Nike or whatever versus Nvidia, then Nvidia has been in an uptrend and UPS has been in a downtrend for the last 4 years. So it works both ways. Okay, we took a note of that. We'll do that on Monday because I'm going to go into positions which are like only 4. Yeah. I don't know about that, but I think that you're close to what I think is about to happen. And actually, I think you were not here. I hinted to that look, we know Powell is done, right? So he already knows who the next Fed chair is going to be, and he's going to appoint all the governors that are friendly to him, that are going to turn on the spigots and turn on the printing machines again. Because if they don't, the economy is slowing down very heavily, and the market's ignoring it at the moment. But we'll see what happens with that. And I think they have to turn the machines on. And this Fed is ignoring him, and he's pissed, right? He's calling Powell. Excuse me. He's calling Powell all kinds of names. So poor man. But anyway, so Powell will be gone. He's going to have a Fed chair that's friendly to him. He's going to have a bunch of governors that's friendly to him. And Fed is run democratically, right? The Fed chair cannot decide. Everybody has an equal vote. There's, I think, 9 or 12 governors. So he's going to be controlling that. So basically, White House is going to be controlling the money supply. White House is going to control interest rates. I don't like it, personally speaking, but to win the midterm, and then this $2,000 tariff checks are going to go. All these things are going to happen, right? Okay, well, I think probably, like I said, February, March, when everybody has a handle on it, and the machines are about to be turned on because the elections are in November. I think, yeah, not in a specific Nvidia case, but I think overall, I think that's what's going to happen. Again, my crystal ball is as good as yours, so that's about it. That'd be great. Mondays are 10 a.m. trading with Sergio. Wednesdays 10 a.m. Fridays are 10 a.m. Pacific, all at 10 a.m. We'll get into that a little bit without going too crazy about it. But on cover, I just don't like cover calls. I don't. Again, don't take my word for it. Go put it in Gemini. The cover call, there are structured products. You can actually put your money in it. All they do is sell volatility, compress volatility. They just sell calls on indexes or on underlying stocks. So go look at their returns, what they have done over the last 15, 20 years. Yeah, they do give you a decent return, but they have underperformed on down markets and they have underperformed on up markets. It's a fact. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck. Okay, are you is that 5 or 15? Because I'm stuck at 7 and I'm dead. Is that 15? 1-5? Fuck. My God. You know what? We're going to make a topic out of this too. Not you. No, fuck. Sorry. Let's add this to the note. Oh, I think I saw the corner of my eye, what you just said. Oh my God. Oh. Well, hold on. We'll solve your problems. We'll solve your problems. Give me a minute. You know what? Let's talk about that. What should be the topic of that being? Kinda dead? Stock is 5, bro. Hold on. Let's not panic here. My members know this. I had a call sign. We all had call signs on the trading desk. Can you guys guess what my call sign was? It comes from Top Gun, by the way. So it's funny. My members are calling me that now. And can you guys guess my call sign on the desk? Oh shit. No. We'll see. How does Vegas suppression work? And then BMNU. Well, we can make that study case from me because I'm gonna show you guys my positions now. I got power is about to go out again. Motherfucker. Okay, I made a note. All right, let's see what's going on. He's just going crazy now. Hold on a second. 24,000 shares deep. I sold 15 puts. You are back holding. You took 135. See, this is the clear case of what I just said about those ex-fucking gurus that go, yeah, sell puts, sell calls. Oh, actually, we're going to talk about ETF slippage, which I have talked quite a bit about on my members and other videos, but I think it's time we fucking put that to bed. 2x ETF slippage, 3x ETF slippage. Okay, those are the 3 topics for Monday and Wednesday. So come back because I cannot cover all this on Monday, but I will cover all of it. 2x ETF slippage. Okay, all right. Buyer beware. First of all, those ETFs are not to be bought and held. Okay, because even if the stock goes sideways, you will lose a shit ton of money because they don't own the underlying. So I'll give you guys a little hint about Monday. Okay, you sold the 15 puts. You took 135K in premiums. Okay, 24,000 shares, 135K. You took in what? 135K divided by 24,000. Okay, you took in $5. 565. Is that what you took in? You took in $5. Is all 24,000 shares done at $5 and 5 5/8? I need to know that because your cost basis is 10. It's not 15. What did you take in? You took in 135,000 premium, but like, when are they expiring? I need like in December. They're expiring in December? Okay. Okay, so you're down. What'd you take in? What did you take in? Yeah, premium sucked you in because you didn't pay any attention to it. At least he's laughing about it. No, but close. The other guy. Okay, so how much did you take in? You want to grab the link and come on and explain yourself here? 20,000 shares. Okay, are you fucking around with me now? You're looking 6.5 on 20,000 shares. Well, you just said 24,000 shares. December 17 expiration. Okay. You could put all this in one line. Okay. All right. So you're at 6.5 you took in. 15 minus 6.5. 8.5. I mean, that fucking thing will go up to 8.5. Take assignment. Do you have the money to take assignment? That's the only thing you can do. You can kick the can down the road and roll, obviously, but then you really have to go. Like stock is 5.5, I think. Okay, so your stock's, I don't know. At the moment, your stock's 60, 70 grand. Oh, we bought 4,000 shares. We tried to DCA at 10. Now it's 5. Well, if you have the money, you got to get it signed. That 4,000 shares you bought at 10 didn't help you at all because your put. Why didn't you sell more puts? Your put sale at 6.5 is cheaper than the stock that you bought at 10. It puts you at 8.5. So you raised your cost actually by buying stock at 10. Okay, just get it signed. Take the shares and go buy another 5,000, 6,000 shares if you have the money. Lower your cost basis. Or if you don't have the money, you have to roll out now. I don't know. I don't know where you can get that kind of premium. You're going to take the loss. Let's say stock is at 5. You're going to buy it back at 10. You're going to have $70,000 realized losses. Yeah, go sell the 5s, 6s. Out to December, actually. I was looking at those because I'm going to sell those. I'm going to do a covered strangle with the shares I have. I was looking at those. The 5s were like $1.50, $1.25. Still good premium. Now it's good premium, actually. Okay. Well, yeah, man, I'm out of money. I'll kick the can down the road. Yeah, get it signed to sell calls. You'll be fine, man. You're 8.5. I mean, BMNR will rally at some point, for fuck's sake. If BMNR gets like 44 and ET at 3,800, might even bring. No, actually, you will end up making money. BMNR is 26. If it gets to 44, that's 35%. BMNU will go 70%. That's 3.5. You'll get back to 8.5. ETH at 3,800 is not. Yeah, maybe it'll get BMNR to 44. Yeah, I don't know. But now you have to understand there's slippage, right? So we'll talk about that on Monday. Anyway, let me go to my positions and see what kind of pain I'm in. Bro, I sold 8 puts and 7 puts, and I'm like kind of bleeding here. You can't imagine 15 puts. Jesus Christ. 6.5, huh? I got sucked in by that juicy premium. Okay, well. Yeah, anyway. We'll see. Oh, no, I cannot share the screen because I went out. That's awesome. Oh, I can share the screen. Okay, cool. What is going on? Okay, well, let's take a look what's going on. Let's put this one on. Yeah, well, you're in a little bit of pain. I mean, you're not as bad as I thought initially, but you buying another 4,000 shares at 10 did not make any sense at all. Why would you go buy shares? Just go sell more puts. When the stock was at 10, you probably could have gotten $2.50 on the 10 puts. I mean, I didn't buy shares myself. Like stock, I sold 8 puts, 7 puts. Yeah, why would you go buy 10? Sell more puts, more capital efficient. You didn't get. They didn't put it to you already because you're so deep in the money now. I would have thought they put it to you. Well, they will early assign you. By the way, have the money ready. I don't think whoever bought those puts from you is going to hold that much longer. They'll probably early assign you. Okay, see, this is the problem right here. That's a wrong comment. 30 was the bottom on BMNR. Nope. Nope. BMNR is not a stock. It doesn't move by itself. It moves with Ethereum. Look at the Ethereum chart, or if you're going to look at a chart at all. BMNR is useless. Looking at 30. Why? Why was 30 the bottom? Ethereum, it rules. If ETH goes to 2,000, BMNR will be 15. Yeah, I just can't do that. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I feel for you, but then you're not as bad as I thought. Initially, it was like, oh shit, maybe the guy took in like a couple of bucks, and now he's, but it's not that bad. See? Okay, so anybody guessed my nickname? No, no, not Maverick. Anyway, I'll give you guys another crack at it. From Top Gun. The other dude, for fuck's sake. Anyway. All right, market putting in a reversal, bouncing up to the 50 EMA. First time we're under 50 EMA in like 160 days or some ridiculous thing. When we're under 50 EMA, 20 EMA, and the crosses are happening. The cross has not happened yet, but if it does happen, it could be problems. I don't have any positions, honestly, but then I'll just put them up. I have 400 leaps on ASST going out to January 2027 and 305 leaps, 2.5s and 5s. Here's my BMNU position. I'm long 1,500 shares. Okay, this all started with a covered strangle. Let me explain this situation. I'm long 1,500 shares at 913. Stock is 541. But the day I bought the 1,500 shares, I sold the 10 puts and the 10 calls for $2.30. So that's expiring today. So that's $2.30. So I will be assigned another 1,500 shares at 10 minus the 10 minus the 230, so 770, right? So lowering cost basis already. Number two, then I went and sold 8 and 10 strangle. So I want to get assigned at 8, but I took in 85 cents for those. So I'm going to get assigned another 1,000 shares at 8. No, 500 shares at 8 minus the 85 cents, 615. And I sold 7 puts, 7 10 strangle at 65 cents, expiring today. So I'm going to get assigned another 500 shares, 7 minus the 65 cents, and 635. So stock is 545. So position is going to be underwater, I have no doubt. So once I'm assigned all these shares, what's the plan for Monday? Well, this is the plan for Monday. It's not that difficult. My overall cost base is going to be probably like 780 or something, somewhere in that range. Very doable. I got involved at like 9 and I'm not getting smashed. I'm down, obviously. But let's look at it. Let's look at it. Let's look at December. A bad thing with this is they don't have weeklies. They have monthlies. So what's my plan? Okay, well, by Monday, if the stock is 6, let's say, or 5.5. I want to add now. This time cover strangle will continue, but not on a symmetric basis. So I will sell, let's say stock is at 5, 5.5. I will sell December 5 puts for $1.25 easily. And then December 10 calls, 10s at 40 cents. $1.67 credit. So once I own the shares, I will put on a covered strangle, short the 5 puts, long the short the 5 puts, short the 10 calls for a total credit of 167. Okay. So if the stock is at 10, I get called away at 1167. 5,000 shares or 3,500 shares will make me 12, 15 grand, because my cost basis is going to be about 7 and change after I get assigned today. Or stock is below 5, I will buy more shares at 337. Accumulate more shares, because at some point Ethereum will have a bounce back rally, and I'll get my ass out that way. But I'm not concerned yet. How about like this morning, like you, sir, I didn't go buy more shares. I will wait patiently and then put on that strategy come Monday. And, it's my way of kicking the can down the road, if for lack of a better word. I am long 5,000 shares of BZAI, 243. I like the company. I'm down about 12, 15 cents on that. And last but not least, I'm long 210. I had to put credit spreads on all of these. I closed them all out, close to max loss, actually. And I can imagine, I put credit spreads on at 15, 12 and a half. Stock is 955. Talk about if I was just naked puts, where would I be? Right? I put the put credit spreads on it like $1.60 and covered them at $2.15, $2.20. Yeah, I lost 60 cents as opposed to losing $6.50. So that's what I'm saying. I was doing on SBET with MNAV of 0.81. I started at 15. Stock is 9.5. Why? Because Ethereum is down 40%. Exactly why. So when you're getting involved in these things, buyer beware. Know what the F you're doing. So I'm cash. I don't know. I have tons of cash. So I'll deploy some cash on BMNU and put the covered strangle on for December. I get called away. Great. I don't get called away. They expire worthless. My cost base is going to drop by $1.67 if the stock is between 5 and 10. If it's below 5, I'm going to get assigned more shares at 3.35. Great. And then one cover call later, I'll be profitable or keep doing the same thing. Did I want it? Did I want to get called? Okay, when I bought the stock at 9.13 and sold the 10 puts, 10 calls at 2.30, I'm like, yeah, I'll be okay. What am I talking about? Stock at 461 today. So, but that's why you just kind of size correctly. If you size incorrectly because your eyes are wide open because of all that premium you took in, you're going to be in pain. Big amounts of pain. So let me answer a couple more questions, go through some charts for the weekend. I'm not buying anything. My member said, what are we buying? I'm like, I'm not buying shit. Goose. Hey, he hit it. He found it. There you go. That was my nickname because I'm always cool and calm. You can't tell if I'm making money or lose money. And you just got to be cool and calm under pressure. And sure enough, we had some wonderful days of pressure. Gotta love pressure. Let's look at some charts. Let's look at some. Should we look at some charts? Yeah, we should look at some charts. We should look at some chopstick analysis. There is BMNU. For frick's sake, ridiculous. Can you guys see this? I hope you can. Did I click the right button? Yeah, you guys can see this. Okay. All right, cool. Okay, so this is BMNU, but let's start with the indexes. Let's start with SPX. Yeah, kind of reversing today. I mean, I don't like drawing lines on my charts too many. So 20 EMA, 50 EMA. Huge reversal yesterday. Reversing yesterday's reversal. So yeah, I don't trust this rally today at all. So I'm looking for more pain for myself on Monday. But we'll see. Triple Q. Okay, so let's look at high to low. Peak to trough. 636. Today's low. 580. 55 points. What is that? Like 8%. Okay, let's look at some charts. Let's look at, well, let's start with BMNR. Disaster. Okay, well, let's not look at BMNR. Let's look at ETHA. Okay, folks? ETHA is the 2X. ETHA is the Ethereum ETF. Okay? There you go. I mean, if Ethereum goes down, BMNR is going to go down. BMNR is not going to do anything on its own. How about this? IBIT is the Bitcoin ETF. Okay, we see that? Waterfall? Okay, well, look at MSTR. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Oh my God. I was wrong. 166? I'm thinking it's 180. Oh my God. God help you if you're short puts on this fucking thing. Yeah, like see what I'm saying? They're going down more than Bitcoin because MNAV is getting crushed. And people go like, oh, look at BMNR. Look at the chopsticks here. Oh, look at this. Look at this. You know, the fools on X have drawn like lines here. Look at this wedge breakout. This wedge, that wedge, the other wedge. Wedge your ass. Wedge just fucking fools, man. I can't stand these people. And hopefully none of you are getting burned following some of these jokers out there. Okay. Let's look at some charts I'm following. Apple's doing fine. High level consolidation. We'll go through the max 7. Here's your meta pain. Meta is meta pain. Yeah, sell puts on Meta. Okay. Okay, let's look at it. Okay, stock is 760. You look at the 200 EMA, 680. Earnings are coming out. Yeah, I'll sell the 680 puts for 3 days for, I don't know, $5. Good juicy premium. Oh, you're $80 in the money now. I got you. Okay. Well, yeah, that doesn't work. How about Oracle? That's good. Oracle? Holy shit. Under 200 now? Yeah, guys, remember that big gap up day? The AI circle jerk, Enron, well, you know, Sam Altman, snake oil salesman bullshit going on there. Yeah. Oh, I'll give you the 30 billion. Your stock goes up 50 points. Oh, then you give AMD the 50 billion. AMD goes up 50 points. Oh, then we turn around and give it back to OpenAI. OpenAI goes up 50 points. This is called the circle jerk. It's the biggest bullshit I've ever seen. That's what Michael Berry's talking about. Not that I don't care about what Michael Berry does. Palantir. That's kind of trying to reverse today. That's quite a fall. 207 down to 140. And this is the good ones, folks, okay? There are some bad ones out there. Hood. They're all trying to reverse today. I'm not buying this reversal today at all. 154 down to 104, 102. 50 points. Diamond hands. Okay. NVIDIA. NVIDIA is trying to reverse as well. Actually, that's not that bad of a correction on NVIDIA. Again, I'm not buying this reversal today unless we have a big-ass follow-through on Monday. VIX. Yeah, VIX is tanking today, but every time VIX gets elevated, by the way, folks, all those Greeks change, so be super duper careful about any of that stuff. So let's look at some really painful situations outside my pain. Let's see. ABAT. ABAT, American Battery, right? Okay. Yeah. How do you guys like them apples? 1140 down to 3.5. I mean, this is not a long period of time. It's about a month of trading. Okay. I like a couple of them in there actually. I like AP. Well, I did like APLD, Applied Digital. Yeah, 40 down to 18. Okay, cool. I like FSLY. That's one of my favorite charts and stocks at the moment. Yep. See, the pullbacks are on good ones. The pullbacks are going to be 20 EMA, and then they're going to bounce right back up. Okay. The bad ones like Rigetti. Yeah, that hit the 200 EMA. What are the odds of that? You see my short labels there? F me. I was whatever. 58 to 20. Oklo. Oh, they're all hitting their 200 EMA. So yeah, 193 to 78. Yeah, short puts. Sure, it works. Yeah. All good. Fuck is wrong with people, man? Actually, that's holding better than I thought. IREN. That's on its way to 200 EMA. That's got another 10 points to go. CLSK. Holy shit. 24 to 9. 8. 9. I may buy some of that actually. It's right into support now. I mean, if I waited this long. Yeah, it's right into support now. I'll pay attention to it on Monday. Some of these high flyers, ACHR. Yeah, no problem. 15 to 6. Okay. Yeah, man. Selling puts and selling calls. If you saw calls, if you saw puts, how you surviving these names and numbers? It's bloodbath out there. And that's what the index is 3% from their highs. Definitely some other shit going on. I like Baidu actually. Yeah, it's called 200 EMA. I like Baidu quite a bit. I bought UPS in my long-term investment account. I like it quite a bit. Yep, it's responding beautifully. I have 4 stocks. Kava, I'm eating about 12 points on that, or 13 points. No, actually, I'm eating much less now. Up pretty big today. Up 6 today on Kava. Lovely. I have a full position on that. I got assigned last Friday. My full position's at 50. I think my average is about 61, maybe, or maybe right around 60. Okay, no problem. I'm long Lulu. Right about here. I was long Nike, made the money, got out. I'm definitely long Google. I got lucky on this one. Bought it at the pandemic or the tariff musical chairs low, about 145. I will not be selling this for a long time. Is it more than a double? No, it's long term. You also have to figure out tax ramifications, long term capital gains, short term capital gains. When you're doing these option things, it's all short term cap gains, right? Okay. What else? If you guys have any questions, put it up, but I need to go get a cup of coffee. Let me look at my watch list. Oh, I'm a huge fan of the 52-week high list now. In fact, you can set that up on any broker, Robinhood, whatever. There's always something going up. Okay. Lemonade, I'm a huge fan of the company. I like the chart quite a bit. Netflix is struggling right at the 200 EMA. Oh, it's under it now. Yeah. They announced the split. Stock went up like 10 points, and I was like telling my members group, I go, why do stocks go up when they announce splits? Means nothing. The dumb shits get in there. ASTS. That's on the 200 EMA, so I may be looking at that. That has a 2x ETF. ASTX is the 2x ETF on that one. See, patience, man. You just gotta wait. Wait until there's 50 days. None of the 50 days held. None of the stuff held. So 200 EMA will hold. Hopefully, low risk trade. I like that one. Rocket Lab at the 200 EMA. See, if you're gonna get in, this is the time to get in. Low risk trades. Again, none of this is trading financial advice. Definitely lower risk than what they were before. Kava up 6. You gotta love it. Is Chipotle up that much? Not that much, but still up. I like Kava up 6. Cool. Coinbase. That must look like shit. Oh my God. God help him. I honestly did not know MSTR was 160s. Holy shit. Oh, 173 hit 166. Wow. What a disaster. See, you guys want to talk about MNAV? Okay, let's do it. IBIT is the Bitcoin ETF, right? Okay. Let's pick a date. Let's pick this date right here. So that's December. Oh, let's pick this date right here. IBIT. January 21st. Okay. So on January 21st, it closed at 60. Today we're at 48. Okay. So that's 12 points, about 20%. Okay. So let's look at MSTR and see the disaster with these MNAVs. January, what was it? January what? January 21st. Okay. MSTR, January 21st. January 21st, right there. $400 even. So Bitcoin is down 20% from January 21st of this year. MSTR is down at 172. 400 to 172 is 230 points. Down 60%. Now you guys understand MNAV? Enough said. There you go. Yep. I can't make it any clearer for people who like these stats. I do like them for trading. I don't, if you're gonna Bitcoin and Ethereum, just buy and hold Bitcoin and Ethereum. Or buy the ones that are under 1 MNAV and still get smashed like me in SBET, for example. Or BMNU. Yep. We'll see. I don't know. Bleeding is bleeding. We're all bleeding. I like LAC actually. Yeah, Trump is in there. Actually, at this price at 200 EMA, I like ANC, NEO. Neo got to shit. It got down to 200 EMA too. Huh? They're all testing 200 EMA. With the exception of the strong ones, they are not testing 200 EMA. And here's a good one. Check this one out. METC. That didn't even hold the 200 EMA. That's just going straight down to 5 or 10, whatever. 58 high, 15 low. Yeah, sell some puts. It'll work out. Sure. Sure, it'll work out. Microsoft. Breaking 200 EMA. Not a good thing. Oh, the 2X ETF on MSTR is MSTU. It's $1. Yeah. Gotta be careful, folks. I'm not wishing bad on anyone, but if you don't know what you're doing, they'll gladly take your money. Micron. Yeah. Strong ones hold the 20 and 50. Weak ones hold the 200. AMD. Yeah, solid correction there. Yeah, that's going to the 200 EMA. That's going to 180 probably. 190. We looked at Oklo. What a disaster that is. The sad thing is I was short all of them. Oracle. Where is Oracle going to stop? Is it going to stop? Or are they going? Their CDSs are going through the roof. Luckily, I got out of my call debit spread with like 40-cent profit. That was it. And then yesterday in the morning, I would have made a little bit more. But did that thing reverse? Oh, man. Oh, man. Look at that thing. 345 down to 200. Yep. Sell puts. Sell calls. It works. Well, Oscar got into support. That definitely did down to 13. That's trying to kind of reverse. Okay. There's a potential there. So you just got to be patient. I like this stock quite a bit. UiPath. That got into support. So a lot of things are coming into support. So if you have the cash now, you can start deploying some cash. Slow and steady. Pony AI. Yeah, that just hot knife through butter, man. Yeah, there's so much technical damage on these stocks. You just gotta wait. Let them settle down a little bit. You're not missing much. PayPal. Wow. Holy crap. Okay. Riot, CLSK, Mara. Where's Mara? Oh, man. Still red for the day. 24th and 10. Gosh. And the CLSK. I don't know which one to buy. Mara, probably. Just for a trade, buy some shares. They have 2X ETFs, by the way. CLSK is CLSX. Oh, it's more expensive than the shares. No, I ain't doing that. Mara. I don't know what Mara's 2X ETF is. What is it? MRAL. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll trade this one. Does this have options? It does. Wonderful. MRAL. Okay. What can we do here? They don't even have sixes. Holy shit. Oh, it's November. Let's go to December. Oh my God. Look at these spreads. How can we trade this thing? Nah, just buy the shares. Nickel bid 170 offer on the sixes. Probably get like buck something out of it. I'm going to do a synthetic. Sell the 6 puts, buy the 7 calls. Sell the 6 puts. Yeah, it's not tradable, man. Wow. Buy the 7 calls. 30-cent debit. Oh, with that kind of spread, calls are nickel bid 230 offer. Yeah, no, I don't want to get robbed by the market maker. I'll just buy the shares. $6. MRAL. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. We'll go back to charts. A couple more charts, and then I'll say goodbye. I think this was a long session today, man. Plus, I have like a little bit of a cold. Gold. Gold is consolidating, to be honest. Yeah, it's nice. NUGT also consolidating. Okay. Well, here's the dollar index, folks. This is how much you have lost this year so far. Yeah, 110 to 96. You lost about, we rallied a little bit, so we lost about 8% of your buying power. Yeah. Yep. We'll look at all that. Okay, well, I'm going to say goodbye. Oh, SanDisk. That pulled back like $100, I think. Yeah, 284 down to 170 something. Wow. That would have been a good short. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. Tesla. TLT. Rates are still going higher for some reason. I don't know. Fed cannot control the rates, folks. They can control the short end, not the long end. Last but not least, Tesla. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of that chart. Uber down to 83. That may be an interesting purchase. No. Upstart, United Health, United's bouncing. Okay. Zillow is bouncing. There are some ugly charts. All these things need to take time. They need to take time and heal. And if the V bottom doesn't come and we get another hammer leg down, be careful, folks. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's all I can say. Anyhow, let's go to the front and say goodbye. I did look at ETH, so I answered that call. It looks deadly downtrend. It'll bounce to the 20 EMA, 50 EMA, and then get your ass out. If not, you'll have to retest unless the V bottom. Do you think my giant position for 20,000 shares is roll March, June, or is it better to get assigned, wait for a pump, liquidate, fast whatever? If you have the money, get assigned, bro. And you're not that bad. You're at 8.5. We get a little pump here. You can get to 8.5. You can sell some December calls, maybe. I would get assigned. Take the shares. Don't extend the agony, bro. Because if you go further out, I'm going to talk about slippage. There's massive amount of slippage on these 2x ETFs. You're not understanding. If BMNR gets to 44, this will get to 8.5. BMNR will pull back to, let's say, 30. Next time it gets to 44, it will not get to 8.5. You don't even understand what you're buying. 2x ETFs don't hold the underlying. They hold swaps and options, and you're going to get wiped out. Go look at MSTU and MSTR. I would definitely not do that. I would definitely not do that. Yeah, good luck. You got into it. You get yourself out of it. You're not going to listen. Do whatever you need to do. The 4 stocks you have in your long-term investment account, would you say their prices now are attractive? 3 are, not Google. I bought Google at like 148, 152, somewhere in that range. Yeah, I like UPS. I just bought UPS like 4 days ago. Kava is lower than what I paid for it, and Lulu is about where it's at. Yeah, I mean, again, none of this is trading financial investment advice, okay? But it's pretty diversified. A little high tech, a little retail on Lulu, a little consumer cyclical in Kava, and UPS, a little economy sensitive, and they're laying people off now, so company should do well. You're welcome. Well, slippage video is already out there. I mean, you look, I would definitely not be rolling on this position because if you were dealing with BMNR, I would say roll. Because you're dealing with BMNU, slippage is going to kill you. It's going to absolutely wipe you, especially if you kick the can down the road to June. But you don't have to listen to me. What do I know? I only done this for about 35 years. Yeah. Yeah, no. See, this is the martingale theory, right? You just keep doubling up until you win. It doesn't work with options. It works in Vegas on the roulette table. It doesn't work in our world. In our world, we will eat you. And then we'll spit you out, and then we'll go to the next one. In our world, that doesn't work. do it until I'm right. No. Take a loss, bro. You never heard of taking a loss? Take an L. I take L's all the time. I'm not ashamed to say it. So I would get a sign, keep your pain where it's at, sell a couple of cycles of calls, hopefully you get your ass out and learn a lesson from it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to finish with that. So go subscribe to my newsletter on the website. It's free. I'll see you guys on Monday, Trading with Sergio, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. I'll answer those questions. Probably the second question is a little too deep, but then I'll try. I mean, I know the answer, but for you guys, I'm talking. I have to make it like simple. Have a good weekend. Patience, position, and planning. May all your shorts tank and may all your longs skyrocket. Have a good one.